What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video. Today I want to go over all the partners, especially the ones that we have in the selector shop, as a lot of players, myself included, are ready to pick up something nice over here in the memory archive. This is essentially like a mileage shop. Anytime you summon for characters, right, or summon just on any banners, not just combatants, you get these currencies, and a lot of players are coming up on either getting a combatant or a partner. So I'll kind of differentiate between the both. I do have a little bit of info I want to talk about in terms of Yuki's partner, Westmacott. And then in general, I just want to talk about probably the better, more bang for your buck partners that y'all can pick up if you choose to do so. As well as probably why you should be picking up a partner instead of a combatant over here in the dupe area. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is a sponsored video. Big shout out to Chaos Zero Nightmare for sponsoring us. Make sure if y'all aren't already playing, click the link in the description below to download Chaos Zero Nightmare right now. Help support me at the same time. And yeah, thank you guys. Let's jump straight into it. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and break it all down. Let's go ahead and real fast talk about Yuki, as she's the hottest topic lately. And I do want to talk about her partner, Westmacott, really fast. I did get this level 60, and it is only imprint level 1. So just base copy, no dupes at all. Essentially, there's been some info coming out, I think on Pridewin as well, that Westmacott is actually worse performing than a Lillian. Now, I didn't actually check so far. I'm assuming it's going to be like a, level 4 or max dupe 4-star Lillian compared to maybe like a base level Westmacott. But essentially, there's some stuff going on with Westmacott where I think it was like maybe in the preview videos they showed us the translation. There was something off on the translation, the multipliers, either additive, multiplicative. All I know is that it wasn't quite as high as they stated initially. That's what I was reading, and so maybe Westmacott isn't quite performing as high as people were expecting. Now, I do think this card or the partner is still good, but if you do have like a Lillian, this card is very amazing, not just for Yuki, but also for characters like Mei Lin, which I have it on here. And the fact though is that I still don't regret picking this up. One, I'm not full free to play, so that might make a difference to you guys. If you are free to play, consider skipping this if you just have a Lillian. But it is nice, one, if you want to, not swap partners all the time. Let's say you plan to use both Yuki and Mei Lin, or anyone else that uses these partners in like the basin where we need 2 teams, you're going to need to have a second partner anyways. Additionally, there are some really cool interactions with Westmacott's partner ability. Not to say it's like amazing for 3 cost, but there are some really cool stuff you could do with it. And, also the fact that it's not subjugated to just 1 cost or less, depending on what you get for Yuki's Epiphanies, it could still be good. And then, of course, like the forbidden card synergies that I'm referencing. Overall, though, long story short, just understand that Lillian is insanely powerful. And if you're free to play, you want to skip on Westmacott, that is definitely a viable option. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk real fast about the partner combatant. Before we talk about the partners, and I might even pick one up on you know what, let me not pigeonhole myself. I'm probably gonna pick one up on stream today, but I don't want to lock it in just yet for this video. But I'm really leaning towards Zeta, and I will tell you guys all about that in just a second. But first, why combatant, or sorry, excuse me, why partner over combatant as per my suggestion? And that's mainly, and by the way, I did buy one, as you guys can see here, I did buy a Mei Lin, and this was like week 1 of the game where I spent quite a bit. I would highly advise you guys not to buy a combatant, and especially not to buy Mei Lin, as her egos are definitely not as impactful as some of the other characters. When I say ego imprint, those are like the dupes, right? So E1, if you look at other games, right, the constellations, or just having imprints, dupes, whatever you want to call them, you get power-ups for the character, right? Don't get Mei Lin, and honestly, don't get a combatant. And that's because, guys, not only are the partners cheaper, right, but the combatants, these dupes, we're going to be able to get in, and I can't show y'all exactly, but I can show y'all where it will be. If you guys somehow don't know already, everyone's been talking about it. It's very exciting. In the seasonal shop, in the supply store, I believe, under second supply, guys, we will have an item, and I think they've already listed what it is in one of the live streams. There's going to be an item that will let us ego imprint a character for free. So let me just give you all a reference right here. The Manifest Ego, right? I have Yuki at E2. Essentially, you'll be able to get 1 copy, I believe, of any imprint for a character, any Manifest Ego of your choice. Okay, so that's one kind of factor into why maybe getting a partner is better than getting a combatant. Not only that, guys, these are only memory codes, right? So these are not brand new characters. You cannot pick up a character you do not own via combatant. So not only does it cost 100 more, but since it's just a dupe and we can get the dupe in the seasonal shop, I think for all those reasons, the partner looks a lot more viable, right? Because this is a brand new partner. This is not a dupe. Although once you buy the dupe, the next month you can get, dupes for it. Excuse me, I might have misphrased that. But once you buy a partner, you can buy a dupe for that partner once the monthly limit, you know, next month, for example, December. But yeah, I think that'll kind of covers up. I would lean towards partners. Obviously, do whatever you want. If it's going to be a big ego breakpoint for you guys, like let's say you have Veronica E2 or something, Yuki E2, Haru E2, then maybe that could be a consideration for y'all. But in my opinion, because of all the aforementioned reasons, partner seems much, much more bang for your buck. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's talk about the partners, and I can't wait here. So we discussed Westmacott for Yuki. It is, listen, I think Lillian max dupe compared to dupe one or no dupe Westmacott. I think Lillian is better, but that is also assuming favorable conditions. I still think Westmacott is pretty good. I just, you know, I'm not a super big on numbers guy. I just like the utility from it and the fact that, you know, we can have 2 partners, but free to plays probably skip on Westmacott for now, unless maybe they buff it or something. Second up here, guys, we have Asteria, which is Haru's partner. This one is still pretty good overall, but I don't think I'm going to recommend it unless you are still just playing Haru and you don't have this yet. It is a generically good like striker partner, but I wouldn't suggest that. Now is where we venture into some good ones. So let's talk about Scarlet and Marianne together, okay? Because they kind of intertwine. Marianne is actually going to be Maylin's specific partner, okay? And by the way, you guys, unfortunately, they don't tell you which partner the sorry, they don't tell you which combatant the partner was created specifically for, but every partner, these special partners, right, are created with a character in mind. So Westmacott are obviously right with Yuki, she's on the banner. Asteria was with Haru on her banner, but these are actually also created with a character in mind, and this one was for Maylin. If you guys notice here, you know, she boosts Ravage, right? Ravaging effects, and Maylin is one of the best Ravaging character in the game for multiple reasons. Also because she can just have that weakness implant on Passion. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Ravage is when you break the tenacity bar. Long story short, though, Marianne will be for Maylin. However, the interesting thing is Scarlet, I believe, is actually better for Maylin. This is Rin's partner, so for both Rin and Scarlet, this is going to be the striker partner that you guys want to pick up. And I think for a lot of y'all, this could be one of the most important, mainly because strikers, right, are typically the carries in your composition, and they typically get the most stat gain, or they're the most impactful on like buffing them up, right, compared to something like a support like Mika. No, even though, you know what, Nyx is very important, but that's more for ego. More about like the stats, the damage, all the stuff you get is going to be very impactful and more noticeable on a DPS character. That being said, if you have Lillian, once again, just like with Westmacott, that could be a very, very viable alternative. Lillian is actually just so stacked as a 4-star, but Scarlet is going to be the best in slot for both Rin and Maylin, so consider this. Her effects are just insanely good. One of the higher priority picks if you guys are considering. Moving right along, guys, we have Zeta. Now, this is one I think I'm going to pick up, and that's only because I have Lillian, right? I already have Yuki's partner as well, Westmacott, and so my Maylin is taken care of. I don't play Rin at the moment. Zeta, though, I'm using Rachel, right? Colonel Hamburg. Let's show you guys real quick on on Calipe real fast. And Rachel is actually pretty good. You could go for either Rachel or Wilhelmina. They're both decent defender type, what do you call them? Vanguard partners. However, I think Zeta, like I was mentioning, tailor-made for Calipe. If you guys are Calipe players, Calipe mains, I think this Calipe partner, Zeta, by the way, she looks amazing. If anyone has played Mass Effect, looks like Talizora. This character, this partner is insanely good. Instinct damage, right? So you can tell it's for Calipe. Defense-based instinct, pretty much just for. No one else can double dip and use this. The sign combat, defense-based damage and shield amount for Celestial cards, 25%. And here's the really nice part, guys. For 2 ego, you can draw one of the highest cost cards, which is typically going to be your Vulture Ejections. So not only do you have, you know, the Whale Summon from Calipe's ultimate, or her ego ultimate, you also have another way to grab more Vulture Ejections for 2 costs. I think this card is insanely good for Calipe. Yeah, I think this is going to be where I'm leaning. So far, I think Scarlet and Zeta are the top 2 prio picks. There's going to be one more top prio pick that I'm going to discuss, maybe 2 more. There's a lot, guys, that I'm not fully sure how good these are because they're for characters I don't play. But just note the ones I mentioned, the Scarlet, the Zeta, are going to be very, very strong. And I actually want to talk to you guys about 2 more here real fast, guys, that I know for sure. Bria. So for you Kayron players out there, guys, I've been hearing, I don't play Kayron myself. I don't think I ever will. But big shout out to Epic 7. And if you like Kayron, Bria is his partner Okay, don't get it confused with Tenebria. This is Bria, and she is actually so important for K-Round, okay? I won't say like must-have, as obviously players are already doing really well without this partner, but if we're just talking the most important partner for a character in the game, I think she is the #1 spot, meaning like K-Round gets the most out of having Bria. So if you are a K-Round main, I would really consider this. I've been hearing from K-Round mains that it is such a huge improvement, such a major quality of life for him, that this is, if you are still debating what to pick and you play a lot of K-Round, you got to get this character, okay? You got to get this partner, I mean. Next up, guys, we have Janet, and Janet is going to be very good for, like, Luke, okay? So, Janet is a, jeez, all the partners, guys, tell me if I'm wrong here. All the partners look so good. I'm not even showing you all the, if you didn't know, you could see, like, the full screen image of Janet. But anyways, long story short, this is a very good combatant for, or sorry, this is a very good hunter class combatant for Luke. For Luke, his partner is going to be very good there. And so I would say in terms of like prio guys, Scarlet, Zeta, Bria if you play Kayron, Janet if you play Luke. And I think those are the most important ones to get right now. There are some other ones y'all can consider picking up. For example, right, we have some Order Rangers. The problem is, I think you're going to get more value, as typically a lot of these other partners have either good counterparts in terms of 3 stars, 4 stars, or they're just not going to be as impactful as the ones I'm talking about, okay? Now, of course, there's a lot of these partners can be insanely good, so no matter what you pick up, if you guys decide that that's what you want, I think it's going to be A-okay. We're always going to get more of these. They refresh on a monthly basis, and every time you summon, right, we're getting these currencies. These are just the ones I think will give you the most impact on your account. So I think we'll wrap things up there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.